Hi, my name is Sohail Selki, and I'm making a game. So I'm doing this live, and I'll get into why. But I gotta say, man, this is going out to like a lot of friends and family and stuff who know what I look like and know what I look like when I'm talking. This is new for me. Like I'm not used. This explains a lot. Like yeah, no wonder I get the reactions I do from people. Like I just look angry. I'm not angry. Just my face. Let's get into it. It has been a long time since I've updated. I have been working on it every day since then, but really it comes back to like the last devlog that I did was more of like a showcase. I you know, and the reason I did that was because I wasn't getting really any feedback from the previous devlog. Like it was like 15 minutes long. I was kind of like just talking about stuff as I was like moving through it, and didn't get nothing back. No one responded. Like, not really. Just I had nowhere to go with that. So I figured it was too long. Some people I know that everybody's busy. No one wants to like really just see me like plunking around and stuff. So I figured I'd make it shorter, and so I made a devlog, and it was like almost like a showcase. Like it really just the results of what I had been working on. Like is some of the like I don't know, to me like more exciting features like this as the game is like coming together. And the problem I think with that is that it doesn't really function as like a dev log. Like this is supposed to be, it's a place for me to like kind of journal. This is a learning experience. Like there is so much. In fact, I can't think of something quite so bottomless. I mean, the game dev thing, it's like beyond the coding. There's like the engine, then there's like the art, the music, the game design itself. There's marketing, there's like the like strategizing, timing and everything. It's really just so much. And as I'm kind of moving through this was supposed to be like a way for me to, I don't know, like journal log, developers log, like about this process, and it hadn't been that. And even though like for the past months, I've been working really hard on a lot of those angles, but I haven't had anything to show for it. So I haven't come out with a devlog. I don't know. That's what I'm doing here. This is kind of like a note. I think the intent is to put more of these things out to just basically share my thoughts. Maybe they're useful to somebody, um, so that you ain't got to find this stuff out yourself. Maybe not. Maybe the only way to learn them is through, kind of tinkering on your own. Maybe I can have another title of series or something where it's like literally just here's where's the game, the like what it looks like right now. So I that's the intent, and I'm going to move forward with that. So with that being said, along with that is this process of like recording what I'm doing. That's like I'm learning that as well. Uh, Coming from like a technical background in working on machines or code, even like in a creative space. I did a lot of art in college. Um, this is, you just kind of dive right in. I'm used to like just going full speed into like whatever I'm doing, and so this like this meta process of thinking about capturing what I'm doing and talking about it is kind of different. It's kind of I'm feeling it out. I'm just using stuff I have around the house, like this microphone. It like we use it for karaoke. I'm using my iPhone, just like QuickTime Player to record. And so with those kind of notes out of the way, I'll just briefly discuss what I can't show you right now, and maybe do a longer thing on it later. But yeah, so basically I hit a wall with the previous design, and my method for going about from like the beginning was just like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I had a space shooter, but like it was in spherical space so that you could see through it, or I just kept going and like testing things out, and it got me where I did, where it started to look like a game, just like one thing at a time, and I hit a wall at some point, and I think it was with the upgrade system for the weapons, when I was like, based on the entire scheme that I had put together, I did not know how to get that to where it wasn't like a mess for the player, or like it was just like so micromanaging and stuff. And so like I just step back and like look at game design, which I thought I understood because I'm a gamer, and I've been playing games. I can recognize a bad game when I play one. And it was like a lot. It was really like a lot of stuff I had to learn, and then like trying to incorporate it. It was like it was intense. So I spent like a good 2 months basically like reworking the concept, and the real benefit to this. I'm glad I did what I did. Basically, I'm glad that I went through this, and I invested a ton of work engineering a system that was like resource based, and like everything just like I want that, and like just keep like coding things in, little features, and then coming to a point where you realize you have to scrap it, like a lot of it, because this lesson is going to stick with me pretty good. I think I am going to have to scrap a lot of that. I did put a lot of work into a system that I can't use at all. I think I'm going to appreciate the value of blueprinting things out first, like from a game design perspective, with a game design document, or at least like, getting a comprehensive look, focusing on the important things, because that is a lesson learned, man. I can't even tell you like how many nights. I mean, you can look at the previous videos and like the propellant, like I had a system. You could upgrade your thruster system to change how it responded. Like you're controlling how you're steering it. I mean, like as a solo developer, like this, honestly, it's a cool concept, but like I don't have the resources for that. That's nutty. That's batshit, bro. I can't do it. So no, I had to back up and just completely like actually, instead of firing from the hip and bolting on one feature at a time until it starts looking like a game, just a mess, actually thinking about that. And so I spent a lot of time. I think I came out with a game design document that I'm kind of proud of, honestly. It addresses everything, like upgrade schemes, enemy factions, like storyline elements, all of that. Like yeah, very comprehensively like outlines the mechanics and everything, and how they work together, how they push the feeling that the game is supposed to give you. And these are all things that, yeah, I should have done from the beginning, but I'm glad that I screwed up. I'm glad that I spent a bunch of time, because I really don't think that I would have given, if I had started out and someone was like, you have to do a game design document before you start, I would not have given it the amount of attention that I did when I came through it after muddling it. Because every time I came into a space where it's like question mark, like I don't have a design for this, but I knew that I had to flesh it out, because this is going to become an issue later on if I don't address it. It doesn't work into the scheme. And there were several moments where I had to rethink some things that I had kind of committed to paper at that point. I had started off from the very beginning. Like I was like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if, like, how in Asteroids you go off the screen? Like you don't go off the screen, but you do if you travel along in a straight path, you end up where you were. And I wish I could show you some of the I didn't record it, but I wish I could show you some of the earlier concepts for that, into like tiling and things like that. I had like a whole system of almost like a spherical treadmill before I realized, like, hey, why don't we just put this on a sphere? And then you have like the benefit of like being able to see through it, and then from there it was like multiple layers and things like that, and everything came kind of from that idea. But yeah, I mean, from the very beginning, I had started that earlier prototype with this notion of like, is it even possible? Is it feasible? Can I do that? Like, what does it look like? Is it crazy hard, or is it like, is it manageable? And I'm finding out that it's manageable, which kind of is a great segue into the next part. I was hitting a performance issue with the previous prototype. Hey, this is Sohail in editing, and I'm just realizing that I'm touching on something that I hadn't really discussed before, nor is it really obvious. The reason why performance is such a consideration with this project and even like exploring the feasibility of it is that game engines operate in typical Cartesian three-dimensional space with your XYZ axes. The challenge for me was in taking all of the forces and the collisions and all of that for all of these thousands of particles and locking it into a spherical orientation. So basically, I have to do all of the physics calculations twice, once for the normal simulation, and then a second calculation is imposed in order to cast the results of that simulation onto a plane tangential to a sphere's surface, every single frame. And this is what creates the illusion of being in spherical space. What that basically means, though, is that this already kind of computationally intense process of the physics simulation is now doubled. And that's basically the core of the issue and why the computational overhead of this physics simulation is a big consideration. It wasn't insane, but the game didn't have like menus or like enemy pathing or like a lot of particles. It didn't have weapons, like, and I was already running into like frame rate issues. Nothing crazy. I mean, I am running this on my MacBook, you know, so it's not like maybe with a graphics card it would have been fine. But I think that like especially with enemy pathing and if we're in the direction that I'm taking the game, there's gonna be a lot of enemies and a lot of enemies doing things like on and off screen that you can witness from distances. So it's like I didn't want to test. Well, rather, I thought it'd be more beneficial to try rebuilding the prototype using Unity's ECS system. If you don't know, the basic setup for Unity is it's in like Cartesian space and everything, obviously, and you have game objects, which is like very object-oriented programming, like intuitive. It's very like I started programming on Macromedia Flash like before it was even Adobe, with ActionScript and stuff, where you take like literal just I can't remember what they're called, but it's like the game object analog, where it's a thing, and you attach a little bit of logic to it, and that even that thing can have little things attached to it that each have their own little bits of logic, and it kind of goes in that hierarchical way. Unity ECS is like, it's a whole nother paradigm, where I want to say it's almost like SQL or something. Like, instead of you got a thing and it has logic attached to it, it's like you have the concept of a thing and you have qualities that, like, you know, you give that concept. You say it's like, this thing is hairy, or it's large, or it's fast, you know, and then it doesn't exist though. Like, the computer takes that and all the concepts that you've outlined and detailed and all of the qualities that those things has, and then it interprets all of them, which, I mean, like, maybe semantics, but it's really, the thing is it's performant. It is extremely performant. In the other, I did manage the model, and I'm proud to say I can show it to you today. If you saw the sneak peek, that's what that was. I basically took the previous concept. I was able to reuse a lot of code, but I had to refactor it into the new ECS system. And I think I hit like a hard cap around like 3,000 particles in the previous game object based model, and like 3,000, right? And in this new model, I was able to get it up to like 30,000, and it wasn't even like my fans didn't turn on my computer. It's like after 30,000, I really didn't even need anymore. Like, there was not a need. So I went ahead and attached like or tried to implement the entire model with some things that I hadn't like because I'm testing it out, right? I also did the enemy AI, which is really dumb right now, but it is like working. It has like pathfinding and responses. It's not like really trying to do much except for stay out of the way, not run into each other. There's objectives where like if it sees you or if you give it an objective, like it'll try to navigate without running into things, which is like that's plenty of logic. I was able to have 300 of those things on screen with thousands and thousands of particles. Then I went ahead and also did weapons, which is, I mean, it's just a bunch of creating and removing entities, which is it incurs overhead. And so with 3 weapons, just like firing just in all directions, it performs fantastically. Like it's I'm just not sure about like, so with entities it's a little bit tricky to get like visual things. Not everything can be converted over. Like mesh is fine. Animations are, you got to do workarounds to do like particle systems. I haven't tried it yet, but it seems like you got to do workarounds. Seen here in this bit, you can see that there's a trail coming off of the vehicle. That's not really on the ship. That's I have it attached to something else, just a little invisible particle floating right next to it. And you can't really see it here, but at certain speeds they desync and it'll start to skip around, and it just looks kind of jittery. I'm not sure. Maybe I can fix that. I think I can. And if I can, I don't know. You like, even still, it's kind of a mess, right? Like you're working and you've got a visual representation for something, and also like an actual. I don't know. It's I'm still playing around with it. I'm really loving the performance. I mean, you can see it just looks like butter, man. Like that is silk. We're really just gonna have to figure out what we can do about it and if it's feasible. Again, I'm just not sure the juice is worth the squeeze on that one. For me, the bigger issue is like I'm a solo developer. Like everything that makes it into this game so far, at least right now, is me. No one else is gonna do shit. So there's a lot to do, and if I'm increasing like the mental overhead or the time development by, let's say, even 30%, that's 30% less of everything else that is going to get into the game. And I think 30% is kind of honestly conservative. Like it's this thing is a huge pain in the butt. I think I'm hoping that it gets easier. I think like if I can fully commit to the paradigm shift into like ECS, it ain't gonna be so bad. But right now it's like it's getting quicker, but like even still, it is so much more code. And so like it seems like everything that was easy to do with a game object is now like a whole thing. You gotta it's a whole pipeline of crap that you gotta fucking push through. So I think that's about everything that I can fit into this video. Like I said, the intent is to have more of these come out just like raindrops, man. Like thoughts, they're coming to me. I'm just gonna push out a video, or at least I'm gonna try to. I think that'd be a better way of reflecting on stuff as I'm learning it. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'm Sohail. Catch you next time.